Hi and welcome to this tutorial which is related to synchronization of ArrayList class. In the previous two tutorials we have seen the first way of synchronizing ArrayList, that is using collections.synchronizedList method, and in next tutorial we have seen how we can synchronize the iteration of an ArrayList in a multi-threaded environment. Now in this tutorial we are going to see another way of synchronizing ArrayList. Now if we use collections.synchronizedList method, then we know in that case only structural modification is synchronized. Any iteration throughout the array elements is not synchronized. For that we need to explicitly put our code of iteration inside the synchronized block, otherwise we can get concurrent modification exception. The reason for that is the iterator returned by the ArrayList class is not synchronized. So what we can do to handle both the things, we can use CopyOnWriteArrayList class. This is a class that will return a list which will work as array list, but it is synchronized by default. That is, it is a completely thread safe class. We need not to synchronize it explicitly. And the more important thing is here iterator and list iterator written by CopyOnWriteList are also completely thread safe. So the code for iteration is need not to be given explicitly inside the synchronized block. Now how it happens, how it works internally, what it does, it stores value in an immutable array. Any change to the value of the collections result in a new array being created to reflect the new values. That is, in this case, if particular thread is performing some structural modification to array list, then in that case it will get another copy, so that when other thread is trying to iterate through the array list, it should not get concurrent modification exception over there. Let's understand it better by taking an example. So we will move to Eclipse. Now here in this example, what we are going to do, again we have created an array list, but this time we have created using CopyOnWriteArrayList class rather than ArrayList class. Now here we are not putting any collection.synchronizedList method because by default it is synchronized. So we are executing here same example. Here we have thread T1 which is trying to add elements to the ArrayList class, that is our CopyOnWriteArrayList class, and here we have second thread that is trying to retrieve the element that have been added to the CopyOnWriteArrayList class. Okay, now here you can see we haven't given any synchronized block, but still we will not get any exception, and the reason for that is this CopyOnWriteArrayList.iterator that will be returned is implicitly synchronized. So let's execute this code and check our output. Okay, now here as you can see we are getting only one value added, 0, because when the first thread added first value, which we are adding is 0, thereafter the second thread requested for iteration of that array list. So the thereafter when thread 1 returned back to the run method, it got a second copy because it cannot make changes in the array list on which this second thread is working. So this is how internally CopyOnWriteArrayList works, by creating different arrays whenever structural changes takes place, so that there is no exception at the time of execution when iteration is taking place. Thank you for watching this tutorial.